Listen, we all know Mexico's drug cartels can be especially cruel when dealing with anyone who stands in their way, but let me ask you this. When you think of cartels, what do you think is their weapon of choice? I'm betting you're probably thinking of something along the lines of knives or guns. So what if I told you that they're now using drones to launch their vicious attacks?
¿Un dron o qué?
We've reached a new level of, what's the word? Terminator, man. We reached a new level of John Connor's mission. Real talk. Because we got drones now, bro. We're drone warfare now. I could just drop a grenade on your crib with a drone. If I want you to believe you saw a UFO, I could just use a drone. If I want you to believe that you saw a formation in the sky, I'll use 20 drones, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Have any of you seen the video of, I don't know if it was a Russian soldier or a Ukrainian soldier, but this soldier was running from this drone and he was turning around watching this drone and praying to this drone, begging this drone, and then boom, he was donezo, just like that.
Gone are the day guns. So what if I told you that they're now using drones to launch their vicious attacks?
¿Un dron o qué?
That's right. Long gone are the days when cartel members would stick to ground violence. They've been keeping up with technological advancements just as much as the rest of the world. And why wouldn't they? Not only that, but they're also using the very same drones for surveillance purposes, which is some pretty terrifying news when you think about it. Who would have thought that the age-old game of cat and mouse would get such a high-tech twist? Get ready to dive into one crazy story, full of twists and turns, and let's find out what the US is doing about all this.
And it's the marriage. It's the marriage between the drone and the camera that's beautiful. Because you could blast the drone out the sky with some buckshot, but I'm on a drone, bro, with a good ass camera. I just stay out of range and zoom in on your ass, and you probably don't even know I'm here.
And let's find out what the US is doing about all this.
Shit in their pants.
Recently, there has been a surge in the use of drones by Mexican cartels to monitor US Border Patrol activities. And these aren't just hobby drones buzzing about. We're talking about sophisticated, high-end gadgets used to scout and gather intelligence in real time. Imagine this. Thousands of drone attacks are being reported every single month. They're infiltrating US airspace to keep tabs on Border Patrol movements. The number of such incidents has been so shocking that it even prompted officials to discuss it during the Senate Arms Committee back in May.
The number of incursions was something that was alarming to me. I don't know the actual number. I don't think anybody does, but it's in the thousands. I would say in the probably over a month.
So, what's the deal with these cartels and their high-tech espionage? Well, they are using drones to navigate the dense border terrain. They need to identify any weak surveillance.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter
spots that they might be able to take advantage of terrain. They need to identify any weak surveillance spots that they might be able to take advantage of in the future. This will allow them to orchestrate their trafficking operations with surgical precision. It's like a game of chess, really, but with drones as pawns and billions of dollars at stake.
They know it's an extra tool that they can use so they can continue to bring their drugs across.
Cartels aren't new to adopting advanced technology. For them, this is a matter of survival and expansion. By utilizing drones, they can outmaneuver law enforcement, making it increasingly challenging for authorities to stem the flow of drugs and human trafficking. The border between the US and Mexico is about 2,000 miles long. It's one of the longest in the world, and it's a hot zone where cartels like the Sinaloa and the CJ...
What did you have to do back in the day if you were a coyote or somebody that got people across the border? How did you send your lookouts? You send somebody ahead or whatever. Now you just throw that little drone up in the air. It don't even got to be a big one. A small one with a good camera. Hey, go pay attention, see what's going on out there. Now, I don't know what kind of counter surveillance shit people have to acknowledge that them drones are there and know that they're there, but times have changed, bro. You're going to have a drone the size of a fly pulling up on your window and just taking a peek. Probably already have that now. I'm pretty sure they do.
ANG are fiercely dueling for absolute control. These organizations capitalize on areas that are lacking in surveillance to smuggle narcotics and people, amassing wealth and perpetuating violence in the process. Adam Isaacson, from the Washington office on Latin America, stresses that power vacuums within the cartels have only added more chaos on top of the already dire situation along the U.S.-Mexican border.
Oh, this guy sounds like a Catholic priest.
La extradición de uno de los hijos del Chapo Guzmán.
Let's see what the Catholic priest talking about.
Hay inestabilidad
There's an instability caused by the departure of Chapo.
del Chapo Guzmán. La salida de
departure and extradition of one of his sons, Ovidio Guzmán.
Más divisiones dentro del cartel de Sinaloa.
Even more division within the Sinaloa cartel and the competition for routes,
As factions
especially
within the
Fent.
Sinaloa cartel compete for control, violence then escalates. So regions along both sides of the border become increasingly more dangerous. But when you think about it, this all ties back to what we've seen over the past few decades. Cartels evolving from simple trafficking gangs into complex crime syndicates who are becoming masters of advanced technology as time goes on. That being said, law enforcement agencies on both sides of the border have no choice but to always upgrade their surveillance and intelligence gathering techniques in order to counteract these sophisticated criminals.
They have all this money, all of this power, this increase in size operationally. I would say that these drones do become a national security problem.
But why are these drone incursions such a big deal? Beyond the immediate fear of drugs and illegal immigrants crossing the border, these drones can give cartels real-time intelligence on U.S. patrol locations, shifts, and blind spots. It effectively places the U.S. Border Patrol in a constant state of reaction, always
And think about it, those things are so common now that now you're gonna have junk drones with parts to be sold to people that are gonna just make them in their crib and use them for whatever they want to use them for.
step behind their adversaries.
What the cartels have proven time and time again is that they will do mostly anything for money.
As this high-tech cat-and-mouse game unfolds, it's clear that maintaining an edge over these cartels requires innovative strategies and enhanced cooperation between Mexican and U.S. authorities. Coordinated efforts and shared intelligence could make it harder for cartels to exploit technological gaps. But as we understand the magnitude of this new approach by the cartels, it leads us to wonder, what are the broader implications of these flying spies? How have drones revolutionized the game for these cartels?
In a whole bunch of ways, I'm sure. I mean, we saw the video of them literally dropping bombs from these things. So we peeped that. We've seen that already.
Using drones to monitor U.S. border patrols. But this raises a bigger question. How did we get here? How did drones evolve from being cool gadgets you'd see at a park to becoming sophisticated tools of terror deployed by organized crime? The first recorded instance of a weaponized drone in Mexico dates all the way back to 2017, when Mexican federal police stopped a car loaded with guns and what was described as a bazooka bomber drone. This drone was packed with explosives ready to dive bomb its targets. Early attempts like this were simple and didn't require much know-how, but they were the ones that set the stage for what was to come. Fast forward to 2021, and the cartels have seriously upped their game. The CJ Cartel, which is pretty well known for its advanced paramilitary techniques right now, was already using weaponized drones to attack police forces.
¿Un dron o qué? Ese mero. ¿Dónde está el dron? Está volando.
And these drones were no longer experimental. They had become essential tools in the cartel's arsenals. Reports from various security journals, as well as the CJNG themselves, summarize how these drones have a significant psychological impact, sowing fear among rival cartels, law enforcement, and even innocent civilians.
This is modern warfare. We use war technologies. We use drones. Here, everybody is adequately trained to use them to the maximum so that they can hear that thunder.
One particularly horrifying account comes from Guerrero, a state in Mexico that has become a testing ground for drone warfare.
The Jalisco New Generation Cartel has created a specialized elite drone unit where these members of the cartel are being trained to turn commercial drones into flying bombs to attack rivals and Mexican authorities.
The CJNG specifically targeted homes, schools, and even churches using drones equipped with high explosive munitions. And
you don't have to attack a school, to attack a hospital. You don't have to you don't have to send a bunch of tanks and a bunch of people up the road and get everybody's attention. You don't got to do none of that shit. All you got to do is boom, you made your mark quickly, efficiently.
The exact number of people who lost their lives that day is still unknown.
I don't give a fuck what drug you selling, man. I don't give a fuck what you got for sale. If you gotta blow up schools, I don't see what schools got to do with your shit. If you gotta bomb a school, man, fuck
Still
what
unknown. And wait until you hear about who has been allegedly training these guys to operate these drones.
A cartel source telling the Daily Beast that an American man actually trained those cartel members on how to source, fly, and use these commercial drones and turn them into bombs.
You heard that right. Someone from within the US has been purposefully giving out some pretty valuable information to the cartels to aid them in committing these crimes.
Yeah, a cousin, a friend, a cohort. There's no lack of information being sent back and forth. Have you guys seen them speed drones, them dudes that race the drones? What happens when you got 10 or 12 of those dudes, they each got 1 or 2 drones to control, and they're just zoom, 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 zipping through the White House and zipping through here and zipping through there and flipping and getting every piece of information they need in a matter of seconds because they're that cold. What's going to happen when these dudes are zooming through your Capitol building, taking pictures? Remember the old movies where they had the little camera to take pictures of the documents and shit? These drones, think about these drones going 200-300 miles an hour and just getting everything they need. That's where the technology's headed. Not only that, there's already dudes that can fly these things like that.
But why drones? Well, it's tricky. For one, drones are relatively cheap compared to other forms of military tech. You can buy a high-end commercial drone for just a few $1,000s, strap on some homemade explosives, and you've got a flying weapon that can be controlled remotely. Moreover, drones provide a degree of anonymity and distance for the operator, therefore reducing the risk of immediate retaliation. And, as we've previously established, you can't really ignore the shock value that these weapons tend to have. It's psychological warfare at its most brutal.
Es una manera pues de atacar a su enemigo con las bombas pues.
Let's think about it, man. When have these dudes been up against something that ain't flesh and blood other than a missile? And that's terrifying, that a missile get a lock onto you and chase you down, right? That's where the technology got to. But in all of these years of warfare, from the days of spears, from the days of swords, from the days of fist fighting and banging each other upside the head with rocks, because if the hands were harder than the head, humans would have done themselves in a long time ago. But when did they ever have to deal with a robot dog with a hammer on it, or a drone, a robot bird with a bomb on it, or a hammer on it? When? They've never had to deal with that. That's new.
¿Tú lo viste los drones? Cuando lo van armando y lo van poniendo. ¿Cómo lo viste y cómo están?
Están grandes, son drones grandes.
And it's not just about dropping bombs. Many cartels are exploring drones' potential for surveillance. This capability comes in handy for various illicit operations, such as scouting new trafficking routes or keeping an eye on rival gangs and police activities.
They could probably do everything. They could probably pick up, put a little satellite on there and pick up all the cell phone information and this, that. There's so many things that can be done. Put a nerd with a box of scraps and they'll figure it out.
Drones can fly high above, capturing real-time data and transmitting it back to operators who can make quick, informed decisions. As these drones crisscross Mexican skies, trafficking narcotics isn't the only concern. They also pose risks to U.S. national security.
Flying in the skies over the Rio Grande Valley. 10,000 cartel drone incursions and 25,000 drone sightings were recorded last year in the sector alone. Scouts watching every move being made on the U.S. side.
These drones aren't just a nuisance. They gather crucial intelligence on U.S. Border Patrol activities, further complicating and
Bro, that one looked like Johnny Five right there. Johnny Five is alive.
Activities, further complicating an already challenging task.
The adversaries have 17 times the number of drones, twice the amount of flight hours, and unlimited funding to grow their operations.
So, what's being done to counter this airborne menace? Well, Border Patrol agents and even the Mexican government have been ramping up their anti-drone measures. This includes equipping forces with technology to intercept or disable these drones mid-flight. One of the most powerful tools in this fight against drones is this airborne device called the Tethered Aerostat Radar System.
We fly as close to 24/365 as we can.
All right, so I wanted to know what kind of counter surveillance they had on these drones, and I was thinking some kind of radar, but it would have to be, a drone can go so many places so quickly, it'd have to be pretty low, and they got a blimp.
Enforcement operators that see that on the radar will then engage and get the drugs, get the bad guys that are waiting for the drugs.
There are also ongoing discussions about increasing penalties for those caught using drones for criminal activities, as well as using technologies meant to bring down these drones.
Mexican president is also going to be equipping the Mexican army with anti-drone technology.
So now that we've seen the sky's dangerous turn, let's now ground ourselves by examining the broader crisis at the US-Mexico border, where these high-tech tools are just one part of a much larger and more complex puzzle.
I want to look up that Ukrainian drone footage. All right, Buddy is laying in a trench right here. This is the drone that then shot him out. All right, so there was a time where at eye level you're not gonna see the guy in the trench, but now bird's eye view of Buddy in the trench right now. And he drops a bomba on him. This is the moment Russian soldier caught and threw away drone bombs. Right? Drone pinned him down. He's balled up. He's in the fetal position. You know what I'm saying? He's thinking.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
That's what he's thinking, but dude had a different idea. Dropped the bomb on him. Woo! Seconds. Landed right by his hand. Had it landed anywhere else, oh shit. If it would have landed anywhere else, yo, Buddy was gonna get splattered. But the fact that it landed right there by his hand, that all he had to do was anything other than that, he would have got splattered. Talk about a break. Damn. But how long can you do this? What happens with the next one? Who quickly threw them away before they explode? Oh, he did it over and over? Oh, Buddy's a gangster. See, it seemed like he took a long time to get that one. I'd have been in a panic. Hey, yo, it's behind me. Where'd I get this shit? Yo. That's crazy. Hold on. He did more than one? Well, then take my theory back. That shit could have landed anywhere. Buddy was going to fight for his shit. It's the first one. Boom. Tossed it. That was pretty quick, man. Who quickly threw them away before they exploded. One land behind them. Man, he took his time with that one. That one took longer. The soldier was targeted by the drone while hiding in a trench on the battlefield. He said, enough, man. I'm not going to try my luck with any more of these. Hey, man, when you fight for your life, you're willing to lose your fingers. What are you going to do when you didn't do nothing, right? You just told the officer, dog, that you wasn't going to show it your ID. Hit the like button, y'all. You wasn't going to show him your ID. And now he's chasing you down the street. He got a hammer right here, and he got lasers and tasers. And he chasing you down the street, and he don't get tired. You get tired. Forget them drones. What happened when this guy come climbing through your window right here? What? That dog don't even know what to do. And there's nothing that dog can do. What you gonna do when that thing's chasing your car? Yeah, laugh it up. Look at this guy doing some horse galloping shit. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna do shit. See, even the ones 9 years ago that were bullshit are so good.
Totally awesome or total?
Totally awesome. Totally te jodiste, nos jodimos. Everybody is fucked. Robot dogs trained in China.
Totally awesome or totally frightening. Look at this. China's military has released this video of a four-legged robot marching through a field with an automatic rifle mounted on its back. The Chinese state broadcaster calls it the newest member of China's urban combat operations. The robot dogs are programmed to conduct reconnaissance, identify the enemy, and strike the target. If that thing comes around the corner and if you're on the other side, you're done.
Yeah, over.
New at 5, a SWAT team in Los Angeles used a robotic dog to end a standoff early this morning. It started about 4 a.m. on a Metro bus.
Look at him.
The passenger noticed the suspect in this case was sleeping on the bus with a gun under his seat. Well, the passengers and the bus driver evacuated the vehicle. Police...
Right, it got this thing here. This is that thing that spins and gets a read on everything around it, all these sensors. They already got him. How many they got is the question. Jonathan said, F that dog. Bet those things don't miss either. Nah, what's it going to miss? It don't breathe. It's not going to squeeze the trigger on the breath. It's not going to be distracted by a piece of ass walking past. Like, none of that. That thing right there, that's the future. Them drones is one thing. You put that and those drones together, these cops get to stay home. Yep. It ain't going to get tired. It could jump every fence you could jump.
Well, the passengers and the bus driver evacuated the vehicle. Police then deployed the robotic dog. You just saw Spot, which boarded the bus and retrieved the gun. The suspect eventually then stepped off the bus and surrendered. There was no one hurt.
All right, when they say defund the police, that's what they talking about. They got too much money with for all these tanks and toys and shit. And you just think about the robots that they had just a year ago. 4 years ago. This video is from 4 years ago. Boston Dynamics Amazing Robot Atlas, right? Okay, 4 years ago, the technology that this video came out in. What you gonna do when Buddy comes looking for you? Huh? You worried about a drone for when they send Johnny 5 to your crib, Johnny 10. What you gonna do when Buddy come looking for you, huh? What y'all gonna do when Johnny 10 come looking for you? The gun don't work. You gotta find the specific spark plug to pull out of there. It's a problem. And they got a whole little Avengers team going on here, including the little dog, boom, little rhino. We got problems, y'all. Now I'll show you a video from 9 years ago that used to be impressive. We're gonna have this fucking guy. This is 10 years ago. Imagine how they move today. You just saw the new little ones. I saw one of these run so fast on the treadmill and tweaked itself out. Crash out them brought up some shit. Spy bugs. Let's see if we can find a spy bug.
The most amazing insect-sized robots.
Come on,
let's get started.
Robots.
Number 5, RoboB XWing. Researchers at the Harvard Microbiotics Lab have developed the insect-inspired microrobot called the RoboB XWing. The robot has become the lightest vehicle ever to achieve sustained flight without the assistance of a power cord, according to the researchers. It features solar cells and an electronics panel to power, while the extra pair of wings is given there for more stable and mostly autonomous flight. The solar-powered RoboB is 5 centimeters long and weighs only 259 milligrams. Solar cells are equipped at its top, and at the bottom are all of the drive electronics you need to boost the trickle of voltage coming out of the solar panels up to the 200 volts. This voltage is required to drive the actuators that cause the wings to flap at 200 hertz. Right now, the RoboB looks a bit awkward, and it certainly isn't ready to be commercialized. It will take some design optimization and additional integration work before RoboB XWing gets to the point where it's flying truly autonomously. Number 4, Dragonfly.
Come on, man.
A project
Buddy,
called
listening to
Dragonfly,
everything
conducted by the
with
research
a
and development
dragonfly.
organization Draper in conjunction with the Howard Hughes Medical Institute, is turning the insects into hybrid drones.
This shit is probably expensive right now, or even not. Like shit, microchips and all this technology, it's here. It's people got it. It's in bins. People are using boxes of scraps to make shit. It's here already. You know, that dude could be in, that dragonfly could be right in your window right now.
Live dragonflies are equipped with backpacks containing navigation systems, which tap directly into their nervous systems. The whole thing is powered by miniature solar panels in the backpacks. The backpack-wearing dragonflies become living micro-air vehicles, or tiny drones. These kinds of drones have the potential to work where larger ones can't, flying indoors or in crowded environments. Dragonflies are able to fly thousands of miles over land and water, reaching altitudes as high as 6,000 meters. Wheeler says this gives them the major advantage over man-made micro-air vehicles, which can usually only fly for a few minutes at a time. Number 3. RoboFly. Researchers at the University of Washington have created RoboFly. It's slightly heavier than a toothpick, around the size of a real fly, and powered by a laser beam that needs to be pointed towards its body. In its current form, RoboFly can only take off and land, as doing anything else moves its photovoltaic cell out of alignment with the laser. Down the road,
what happens if one of these expensive ass drones come in your crew, you just happen to whack it with the fly swatter and shit? Dead it. Raven said, imagine what they have in Area 51. All kind of shit that we don't know about. And that's what I'm saying. Like the guy that they say was flying next to the airliner, that GB said was flying next to the airliner, for all we know, that's an American soldier flying out of Area 51 playing with toys, testing shit. Never know.
It is hoped that the laser will be able to track with the robot as it flies, continuously powering it. It's even possible that future versions of the robot might be able to harvest energy from radio frequency signals, using more advanced microcontrollers to autonomously perform tasks in places that traditionally larger drones couldn't go. Number 2. Tiny robotic crab. What's more, the crab-shaped robot does all of this without any actuators, motors, hydraulics, or electricity. The world's smallest remote-controlled robot is controlled using lasers. The engineers built it using a special shaped memory alloy that transforms into a particular shape in its memory when heat is applied. The researchers use a focused laser beam to apply localized heat to different parts of the tiny robot in a particular sequence. Due to the properties of the alloy and the small shape of the robot, each limb cools down really fast after heat is no longer applied. As the shape of different limbs changes due to the heating and cooling, the robot moves in a particular way, depending on the sequence in which the laser is applied. Number 1. Black Hornet. The Black Hornet is a tactical pocket-sized reconnaissance UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle,
That's a full-on
manufactured
drone.
by the American company FLIR
Pocket
Systems.
size?
It is designed
That
to
ain't no
assist
insect.
dismounted soldiers
That's
deployed
drone.
on the battlefield. It enhances the situational awareness of the soldiers by acting
That's
as a
a killer
dismounted
right there.
covert soldier, delivering all the key data on surroundings, and will spy on enemy movements to ensure the safety of frontline soldiers. The Black Hornet features a rotor diameter of 123 millimeters and a length of 168 millimeters. It weighs no more than 33 grams and offers the best-in-class audio and visual detection signature. Teledyne FLIR Defense has delivered more than 20...
We're in trouble, y'all. The machines are coming for us at one point or another. They will be here. From drones in Mexico to dragonflies in your own backyard. How many insecure bitch-ass dudes gonna be stalking their chick with that shit? Because that's gonna be everyday technology right there. I'm sure there's a kid somewhere that could take apart a remote control and make one of them things happen.